But there's this guy I went with by myself one day, and I think his name was Mr. Jans. So there's this, you know, I don't know what ethnicity it was, but you know, we were just chatting it up. You know, he had some really cool clothes on. I was like, hey, you know, I like your clothes. He was like, oh, thank you, thank you. I was like, oh, cool. He was spitting game, bro. Like I don't remember the most of it, but I remember one thing he told me was like, whatever you strive for in life, make sure that you love what you do and you do what you love. And that stuck with me because prior to that, there's a bunch of artists and musicians and fashion designers, creators, whatever that say the same thing. But for someone random to tell you, it means so much more because that means that they have love in their heart for other people to succeed. And that's crazy to think about because like we're just two total random strangers. Yeah. Some random dude to tell me that, which kind of sparked that initial thought, damn, I want to do this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 714 podcast. I'm here with Chris, also known as Cosmo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We were talking about that name, and before this podcast started, and you said it came. You got inspired from it from Fairly Odd Parents,
right? Which
is one of my favorite shows. Like growing up as a kid, I can remember watching. It came on Nick, right? I'm pretty sure.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. I was. That show was the only thing I would watch on Nick. Like sometimes SpongeBob, occasionally, yeah. And then most of the time I'd just be watching that show, and yeah, dude, it was. Now that I look back at it, they had like some crazy moments on there. Like it was just,
I think that's
wild shit, you know. Yeah. Like that's the whole show. Like the premise and the people who created it were geniuses in that way, where they just had different topics and there were these fairy or what is it called? Fairies, yeah, fairies basically that grant wishes to this kid and all this that goes on to it. And it was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, especially because it connected too. Even though everything seemed kind of chaotic, it all stemmed to one story, which was really cool. I feel like that's how life is anyways.
Yeah. And then you got inspired by that name.
Yeah.
And I saw your Instagram and now it's Young Cosmo.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. Yeah. What other cartoons were you interested in back then?
Man, there was a bunch, but to name the few that I really enjoyed, that really piqued my interest, were Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because
I might know what that is. I don't know.
It's like a small pink dog, and he's always getting scared.
Oh, okay.
He's always going on little adventures and getting scared. And he lives with two old people. And the old man that he lives with doesn't like him. He's always like, "You stupid dog."
Really?
Yeah. That one, SpongeBob. The older SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah, dude.
Gotta lie. Like, can't lie. Those are some creepy ones. They had some weird episodes.
When did SpongeBob first get started? I think in the 90s. Yeah.
Late 90s.
Somewhere around there. And yeah, those early episodes from the 90s and early 2000s, those are the best episodes.
The best, yeah. Especially like the first few ones. Those really
the first season,
the jump start of that whole, SpongeBob phenomenon. So I really like that show. Codename Kids Next Door. It's like a bunch of spy kids next.
Oh yeah. I think I've heard of that.
I love that one. And then some newer ones was Regular Show, Adventures.
Oh yeah, dude. Regular Show was also one of my favorites growing up. That was. I don't know what it was about it. It seemed like an older show. Like it didn't seem like for kids, but it kind of had that, like it was an animation show, but at the same time, they talked about different things that normally you wouldn't say in a kid's show.
Society, exactly. Yeah. I like that one too. It was very weird. It had a little kind of dark essence to the show, which kind of made it a little more intriguing too. So I like that.
What are the guys' names? Mordecai Rigby.
Yeah. And then there was like this balloon guy.
They would always get pissed at each other like for stupid shit. It was the funniest
thing ever too. I think that one, and then that's pretty much it I can think of right now. But because of those shows, they got me into anime, believe it or not.
Really?
Because I used to be so addicted to watching cartoons late at night. I would get in trouble for it.
Really?
And one day I stayed up till like midnight, and then after Cartoon Network, it would like transition like, okay, today's broadcast of Cartoon Network has ended, but we're gonna go into Adultswim, and that's what got me into anime because Adultswim had the crazy stuff.
Adultswim is still crazy, bro. Still crazy.
And then they had Naruto on it for a while, and that's what really got me into anime. And I'm a big anime fan.
Yeah, I know. Robert, he's our mutual friend, but he's really into anime as well, and he sort of got me into it. Like I'm not like the biggest fan in the world, but now I understand what all the hype is of people watching anime shows and like that you can't even understand the language really. But there's something to it that people are attracted to, right?
Yeah. I think I feel like it's has to do a lot with the animation because you know it's visually pleasing, but just the story, the way they interact with the characters and how they make the audience feel connected to it, I think that's what makes the anime such a like great you know, TV genre. You feel me?
Yeah, it's different from all the other stuff that we're used to in American culture.
Right.
It's sort of unique in that way.
For real.
And nowadays I don't think any kids show is that good. Like I don't hear about like I'm still hearing about SpongeBob and stuff, but nothing new has brought like a big audience to it yet. Like I don't know what's happening, but we got to get some kids shows back. Like we got to get some, like the team at Nick and everybody, that they got to do something.
Struggling.
Yeah, dude.
Y'all struggling.
They got to do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Like nowadays, what do you watch usually?
It really depends on how I'm feeling. Usually, if I feel like watching some anime, I'd watch a couple episodes of anime. Sometimes I binge a whole season of anime. But I've gotten into like mythology. I'm a really big nerd when it comes like Greek mythology, Norse mythology, you know, Middle Eastern, like African and stuff. I like all kinds of mythology. Just like hearing all those, even though the stories might be fictional, you never know. But I just like the idea of it, and it's so like interesting because it's like these people who are like superior to others, and the way they interacted with them was really cool. And so I like, you know, documentaries about that. I like horror films. I'm a big horror person. I like any kind of horror movie, TV show ever.
I'm the opposite really.
Really?
I don't like horror movies that much. Like I could understand the perspective of like the excitement of getting scared and stuff, but like I don't want to do that shit. Like, I'd rather watch like a comedy or action movie or something like that.
I like them. There are a few comedies that I like, you know. But I'm so gravitated to that horror genre. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who makes the best, in your opinion, best horror movies?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I have no idea.
You have no idea?
It's like I know a few directors that have their own kind of adaptation to these films and stuff. But to say one is better than the other, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But one that I really enjoy though, which is a lot older one, I think it's Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh yeah,
he's an older director. Yeah. I like his storylines, the way he presents the films to people and stuff.
Yeah, he's a unique guy too. Like
I really enjoy his films. I watch some of them on YouTube, and then there's this other website that I go on to watch the rest of them. Like, you know, obviously I'm not gonna name it, so the website, but
we keep that private,
confidential.
Confidential.
Like, I really enjoy watching films like that are older because they have a way of being portrayed to the audience that is not, you know, easily attainable by other directors and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like people who are creative with the way they output things, that's what makes them enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and I think those older films, you could tell that they took more risks,
right? Because
they didn't have the CGI and stuff that we have today. And I recently watched I don't want to say old movie, but a relatively old. It's called Guns of Navarro. It's
I heard of that.
It's kind of an action movie. Yeah, you would say it's an action movie where these guys go on an island to save someone, and they gotta, or to and they had to disable this gun that's over there. Mm-hmm. And I think it was released in either the 60s or 70s, around that era. Yeah. And yeah, you could tell that movie is not, you know, the set design and everything isn't just like perfect. Like you could tell it's a little old, right? Uh-huh. But the acting in it and the lines that they used were perfect. Like throughout the movie, you didn't look at it and think it was like way out of proportions. But like this, it's unbearable to watch, right? It was still really enjoyable, even though that movie was made, you know, decades ago. Right. And you know, you look at those films and or at that film and also like The Godfather. Right. That's hailed as one of the best movies of all time. Right. And it was made in the 70s. And it's because of the risks they took and also the acting. Like it was world class. Absolutely. I just don't think like that level of acting, that level of energy and being able to portray that character so well, very few actors can do that. And it's been hard to find movies where those guys or those people are able to do that, because it's so hard to be able to transfer all your energy into something that a director wants, right? Like to portray that character so well that you just become that person, really. Right.
And I agree with you. And I feel like nowadays it's easier to find people that may look the part, but it's harder for people to play the part. Yeah. Because most people nowadays are attracted to the visual aspect of it instead of the way it makes you feel and the way it interacts with the whole story and stuff. And I feel like, you know, things like that are really should be taken into recognition when it comes to films and whatnot, because, you know, it all kind of comes together in the end. And if it's not like, I wouldn't say, you know, a complete thing, but if if it doesn't fit well together, then, you know, you can tell.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of nowadays, or now for me personally, I've gotten to understand the process of it, which has basically allowed me to gain the perspective of this is fucking crazy. Right. Like to make a movie is such a process. Like for me, I have no idea because I don't, I'm not a producer or anything, but just to look at the behind the scenes of stuff and to hear directors talk about how they had to wait for the sunset to be at this exact position for this light to happen. And they had to have this one take be perfect. And so they had to have all these people ready, like all the stuff that comes together, the sound guys, the lighting, the actors, the directors, the photography, all that has to come together for multiple scenes. And then you got to edit all that together and then distribute it.
And the crazy part about it is crazy. The way they make it so seamless, man. Seamless. It just kind of flows. And that's so incredible. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
When I was a kid, I thought that the movies were shot like they shot the whole thing right, scene after scene. Like, so if the first scene starts with a guy walking, that's the first thing they would shoot. But then I realized like that could be the last thing that they shot, but then they edited it to be the first scene.
Right. It's just so crazy how nowadays everything. And the way that some producers and directors are really hands-on with it, and they have like all these, you know, grand like effects and stuff. They have like stunt doubles, background characters and whatnot. Yeah. That's crazy nowadays if you think about it. Because it's just like a real life story from like a book to real life. It kind of just shows you the grand aspect of it, and I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a way of portraying an idea that it's special. I've always loved movies and going to the movie theaters and everything for that simple reason of I gain a new perspective out of seeing like really good movies. Yeah, you just leave the movie theater
just asking questions.
Yeah, like, asking questions, talking about these parts.
Over it, like, damn, this is a great film.
Yeah, there are a few movies like that have got me to understand life from a deeper perspective, and
really,
one of them is probably The Godfather, and
Right.
let me think.
Is that your favorite movie?
I don't really have a favorite, but yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Okay.
Another one was Goodfellas, like that.
I love that movie.
I fucking
It's a
love that
great
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that movie is just phenomenal acting.
Mhm.
That's why I fucking
Yeah,
love
I
it.
agree with you. Yeah.
Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta killed it. Like every single person on that cast was phenomenal,
Right,
phenomenal to say the least. And that's a movie I could watch repetitively because I think I've watched it like 5 or 6 times now,
Right.
and it still feels like fresh. You know,
Right,
it doesn't
yeah,
seem
There's some movies that
no
no matter how long you watch them, how old they are, or how many times or
Yeah.
wherever, it just always makes you feel the same way as you did the first time, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like from paper to film makes it feel real.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's crazy, huh?
Yeah, there are those movies that are cinematic, like masterpieces, right?
Yeah.
And there are also movies like the superhero movies of Marvel and DC, which I also applaud, and I enjoyed watching those, but not for the acting, but for the story of, like for Marvel, for example, is they just did it right, bro. Like every movie.
Incredible. It's so crazy too.
Yeah.
You think you know, but you don't know.
You don't know, bro.
They hit you with another whammy. You're like, how do they do this?
Yeah. I think I started watching it with maybe Iron Man 2, and then I rewatched I watched Iron Man later. I didn't watch that in theaters. But then when that first Avengers came out, like people don't understand, when that first Avengers came out, that changed the game. That changed the game. Like nobody thought like that was gonna happen, or it didn't seem like it was possible to bring everybody together for that storyline and for it to be that grand of a scale. And I walked out of that thinking that's the best movie ever. For this is fucking crazy. That came out in like 2012.
Bro, I feel you.
Yeah.
Bro. I feel you.
Yeah. Might have been like, what, 11, 12?
Yeah, I was
Somewhere
like
around
12 that time too. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, those movies are great for the story of it and how they've developed characters in each movie and then combine them for the Avengers, and then also deepen that story with sequels, right? Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Iron Man 3 and all these different movies that connect
the way they
all
blend
together.
It is so flawless. You gotta give props to the directors behind it and
the
writers
storyboard.
And
yeah,
it's so crazy. They probably spent endless hours thinking of all the possibilities they can make it like the best movie. Speaking of movies in Marvel, have you seen the new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I heard about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that it's like one of the best up there. So
I'm not gonna spoil anything if you if you haven't seen it, but yeah, it's crazy. Because I watched it when did I watch it? I was in Connecticut in December, and that's where I watched it. And yeah, it was fucking phenomenal because I won't. Should I spoil it?
Go for it.
Okay.
I already got spoiled.
Okay, so you know like that there's the three Spider-Man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was like the biggest thing out of the whole movie was that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came back, and also Andrew Garfield.
I'm gonna just say this. Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man. I love the rest, but he's always gonna be my favorite one. He's like my favorite superhero.
Yeah, bro. He's fucking amazing, bro. And I also actually watched The Great Gatsby, which he's in a few weeks ago.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's also a phenomenal
great
movie.
film too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him much lately until this film right here, where he came back as Spider-Man. And yeah, I won't say much about it, but it was a great movie. I think it's still like top rated on Rotten Tomatoes, like 90% or whatever.
I heard it's like number 4 grossing film of all time.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
Wow. Damn, it came out like a month ago.
I know, a month ago, yeah. And
crazy.
And now, or what was the one before? Or what's the top most grossing film? I think it's Endgame, right? Or Avatar or Endgame?
Avatar and then Endgame.
Okay. Avatar is still on top, huh?
I heard they're making a second one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they are.
I hope it makes like as same as impact in the film industry as the first one? Because that one was crazy.
That one's crazy.
I love that movie. I still watch it to this day.
Yeah. That one was a cinematic masterpiece, and the story was on point too. Yeah. And yeah, they say they're gonna make a second one and a third one. Like, that's what they're saying, right? And the theory is like they've since the time that the first one released, right? That was in 2009, I believe. They've been working on movies. Like, they just didn't release it right away. So they made that second one. Yeah.
Just, sitting on it.
And then they started making the other ones too, just so it could have a rollout of
that's movies. Smart. I feel like that's what Marvel does too.
Yeah.
They have to. I mean, it has to be like that.
Yeah.
For it to be so almost, like seamless how it connects. I feel like that's what they do.
Yeah.
And it's a smart way to create things too. Like, not only in films, but in anything in life, to always have anything that you're working on come out and then be prepared for this, the sequel or how many, versions of it after is a great way to, keep track of the things that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, who knows when that second one's coming out, but I'm excited for it if it ever does come out, but like that movie, when it first came out, I think it definitely changed a lot of perspectives, because it was totally out of this world cinematically, and also, of course, the top grossing film of all time is insane. It goes to show like how many people like really loved it, because you probably had to see that shit multiple times
just to understand
to get to that level. It was
a long film too. It was like almost 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 hours up there.
But hey, I watch every hour. But
yeah.
I don't care.
And yeah, those movies like that, it doesn't feel like 3 hours when you're watching it. It just time goes by.
Yeah, it's so quick too.
Yeah,
which is great, because that's when you're enjoying it.
Yeah, that's when it's with anything, right? Like if in life, if you're not enjoying it, you could. If you're in school, right? You look at the clock and you're fucking thinking, this is the longest minute of my life, right?
I feel you.
For this test or whatever, this class, and you're hanging out with friends, and you could spend 6 hours or 8 hours,
like
right?
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Especially when you hit that snooze button in the morning.
Yeah.
Hit it. Damn, it's already.
That snooze button should be illegal, bro.
I know.
That thing.
That's gonna be the death of me.
Yeah. I try to set the alarm and not hit the snooze button at all. Like, either I set it and I wake up, or I just press the end and I accept my fate, because this is I don't want to like get woken up again and again and again. Like, I think that does something to your brain, like where it just becomes accustomed to going back to bed every time.
Yeah. I usually do it if I have a time that I need to be up. I do it like an hour before, and then do like 2 more alarms after.
Yeah.
By the second alarm, if I'm not up, I'm knocked out.
Yeah, knocked out. Yeah. So, how many hours of sleep do you think you usually need to be optimal?
I say, like, I'm a night owl, so I love staying up, but at the same time, I know it's not good for me. So I'd say my optimal amount of sleep would probably be 7.5. That's, I mean, it's up there. It's pretty average, right?
That's average.
7, 8
it
hours.
Should be around 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So 7 hours and I'm good.
Yeah. That's same for me. Like 7 or 8 hours is plenty for me. And I know some people who can do it in less, and I know some people who need way more than that.
I remember I could do it like in the past. I probably could do like a couple hours, like 3 hours.
3 hours? Damn.
But now, age catching up with your boy.
Yeah, I know.
I have to go to sleep for 3 hours. I'm like, I'm so tired.
Yeah, dude. And there's something about, like, I don't know about you, but for me, after high school, I just got, it was harder to wake up early for some reason.
Yeah.
For some reason, just like after you graduate, it's just harder to wake up.
I feel like it's because you're not expecting to do anything that day.
Yeah.
You kind of just have the realization, like, I'm done doing something that's so repetitive for like the time that I was there. You kind of just let your body accept it and relax and kind of just, kind of go into your natural state. Because I don't think waking up at early 8 in the morning is natural.
I know.
Some people do it at like 5. Hey, props to you, but y'all crazy.
Y'all crazy, yeah. You probably had to sleep at like 9 or some shit to to get there.
I was busting all nighter sometimes. Like to be real with you, like in high school, I would get yelled at too. My mom would come in. I was like, it's 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Some people are like that. Like I get that I'm not a night owl per se. Like I don't like staying up all night, but I'll get to like 12 or something. That's my usual bedtime is like 11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think sleeping earlier than that, I wouldn't be as productive because I'd be like groggy and I would think I would need more sleep. Sleep. But sleep is like the most time sleep, that activity is the biggest portion of your life. I think I'm pretty sure you
like 2/3 of your life.
Yeah, 2/3 of your life. So 60% of your life is sleeping. And who knows what that is, bro? Like scientists still don't know like what happens really, like why we dream and all this stuff. Where do we go to? Like where does our consciousness go, like lead us to?
There's like theories and stuff that apparently when you're sleeping, your body is like in a state of like just meditation and whatnot, and then that dream is actually your soul or something leaving your body to an alternate realm and just experiencing all of these things. That's why sometimes you can remember when you dream and sometimes you don't, because it's so instant. Like, and it's crazy because your dreams seem so short. They seem like little short films when you're actually like they're probably taking like hour long, like 2 frames per second. But we just don't remember that part of it. And I think some experiences like we do remember from dreams, like you said, but not everything. It's unique. I remember a couple dreams that I've ever like experienced. Some of them were kind of like weird. Some of them were kind of freaky, like crazy. Like I was waking up like, damn, bro, my life.
Good. Yeah. Sometimes when I was a kid, I would get those nightmares and shit.
Oh man, those are the worst.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Wake up all like,
yeah. Now that doesn't happen usually. Like you get to a point in your life, I guess, where even if something like scary happens in a dream or something, like you just accept it for what it is. You just ride the wave of of that dream instead of waking up and being scared of what happened. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
And but sleep is a necessity, man. Like what the when I realize or when I don't get enough sleep, I could realize my whole body is just off. Everything's just off a little bit. Yeah. Everything's
like you feel drained and not as up to par as you would usually be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely necessary, and who knows where what made us like go through that experience of we have to sleep. Like I think there are animals that don't need sleep, right? Pretty sure. Like or there are animals like sharks that just sleep but they still move and stuff. So this planet's weird as fuck.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Speaking of sharks, they're like one of the like I think some sharks are going extinct, to be real with you.
Really?
I'm not sure, but I like animals too, so I always like look on like Animal Planet or like National Geographic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to
those
collect
documentaries,
all those books and
bro.
stuff.
That's fucking.
And I heard like a while back that great whites were being fished for their fins and stuff. Some people out in like Asia and stuff use their cartilage for like medicinal use and stuff.
And I think there's this thing called shark fin soup.
Right.
And
literal
that's also
shark fin, which is crazy.
I know. And the thing about that is if you're just going for the fin and let's say you cut off the fin from a shark, it really can't survive. Like it'll just drop to the bottom. And if you don't kill it for the meat or anything, like you're just taking the fin, it's kind of a waste of that whole animal, right? It just dies down in the ocean and all you're taking is like this small piece. And the more you do that, like humans,
I feel like this is torturing life at that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And humans, we have like unbelievable power, and especially right now when you think about it, like we could wipe out this whole earth if we
wanted to.
If we really wanted to, we could wipe out like literally all of life. we have that ammunition. Will we? I hope not. But
Man, I need at least 20 more years, man.
Yeah, yeah.
At least 20 more years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like what makes us unique is not only, I mean, you could say our bodies, but I think more of our mind is what creates that separation. Like we're not just animals. Like we think at a higher level. We communicate at a high level. Everything's just different. Especially when you look at something like a chimp. We know that chimpanzees are smart and they could, if you give them a puzzle or something like to put a block in, they could figure it out, or they could find food and use tools to do that.
Right, yeah.
But there's a separation. Like there's something there that they don't have that we have that makes us like this. I don't know what that is, but
I think it's probably self-awareness.
Self-awareness, you think? Yeah.
Because I feel like they know enough to survive, but they don't know that they know that. They just, it's kind of like a automatic thing, kind of with sharks and stuff.
Yeah.
They just,
they're in survival mode.
To here, boom, get that out of the way, I can eat.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that ever happened, that'd be the scariest thing ever. You just, you going to go get some food, you just, wait in line, and then, oh, how can I take your order? You see a chimp talking to you?
Yeah,
I don't know what I would do. I'll probably walk out that business.
That would be crazy.
I'd be like, Mom, you're not going to happen, believe.
Yeah.
I just saw a chimp take my order.
That's shit, bro.
That's crazy. But speaking about that, there's a movie, speaking on the topic of movies still, like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Dude.
They really dived into that, and that what if aspect. What if chimps, could access more of their brain power? And that's scary.
Yeah.
Not just chimps, but animals in general. Like I find, when there's like experiments done on animals, like with scientists and, studies and whatnot, where they train animals to do certain things, I find it like really cool, but at the same time, very scary, because just because that happens and just because we can do it doesn't mean we should.
Yeah.
Same thing with a lot of like science in general. Like a lot of life is just meant to be how it is. And I feel like
it's not our place to change it necessarily, right?
I feel like sometimes if we try to alter something too much, it can have a negative effect. So
yeah, I watched a documentary in high school, I believe, of the like trying to change chimps, like scientists trying to develop the capacity of a chimp to think more, or just like do different things than a normal chimp would. And it would work up to a certain point of when that chimp was young, like when it was still a baby. But after it got a little older, it would show aggressive tendencies that would outweigh everything that they just worked on. And you really couldn't train them at that point. They would be too strong. Like if you look at a chimp, it's pretty small, but it could fucking deck you.
Strong.
They're strong as fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, you look at that and you just realize that, it's not our place to change that. Like we gotta accept that it's okay. We already have our like own things that we could work on ourselves. Like as humanity, we could build things and do what we want.
We can, evolve ourselves, with ourselves instead of using other animals or species to experiment on.
Yeah. It's crazy how we know not only about ourselves, but pretty much about everything else too.
Right.
Like that. Sometimes I think about that of no other animal is thinking about us. Like, or they're just doing their shit.
Dog across the street is just, they see us as another human.
Yeah.
They don't see us as a human, but they see us as, oh, that's another animal.
Yeah. That's another animal. And they could separate us from themselves because the physical difference is there, but they don't have the self-awareness of themselves as well. Like, so it's pretty wild. And also we know not only about stuff here, we know about space, which I don't think any other animal
Cosmo
really cares about. Right. Yeah. That's also a special thing of discovering where we came from. Like, I think that's what a lot of humanity has tried to get to is like a meaning of life. Like, why is this here? Like, why are we on this rock called Earth that's in space, that's in this galaxy? And we say there's billions of galaxies. Like, why is it this one? And like, you could get your whole mind warped.
Wrapped up in it. Yeah, it's just like a Alice in the Wonderland rabbit hole. The more you think about it, the more it goes. Yeah. And, you know, that's a great topic, but I feel like, you know, if we dive into that, that's just gonna continue on and on and on. Bro. And I feel like we'll just be, you know, kind of stumped like every other billions of people in the world asking the same questions. Yeah.
And what I've realized is, instead of thinking like there's an answer outside of why we're here, we have to look within ourselves and realize that I give meaning to life itself. Like, it's not, there's no one thing in the universe that requires special attention. Like, everybody has to think about this one thing. Right. No, everybody could have their own different opinions and still exist. And that's what this is. Like, if you enjoy certain things and you realize like that's your calling, that's the meaning of life right there. Right. You don't have to do anything outside of yourself. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I always used to think like, you know, just to think about it, like what's my purpose in life? But once I started to dwell on that thought, like it kind of, you know, kicked into me that like I can make my own purpose, and that's something way more worth than a purpose given to me, because I can choose my own purpose. And I feel like choice is like one of the best things that a human can make, you know, not, you know, that humans make good choices, but the ability to make a choice is what makes us stand out from any other animal, species, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, so. Definitely. It's what our power is. If I think I wouldn't want it any other way. Right. If there was an energy in the universe that said that you have to think these specific thoughts only, it wouldn't, that freedom is, I think, what we search for. And freedom of thought is really the biggest there is. Like, cause people can tell you, you know, how to do things and where you should be or any of those things, but nobody can make you do those things, and also make you think certain thoughts. Like they could tell you thoughts, but you could decide whether to take them in or not. And that's been probably the best advice for me. Like just to accept that idea of choosing thoughts, especially with positive and negative thoughts. Like choosing the positive thoughts over negative thoughts has drastically changed my life just from those ideas. Like choosing that. Right. There's a lot of people out there in the world who struggle with that though. You know, I wish the best for them, because, you know, some people are experiencing life at a different rate than others. So probably not there yet, but you know, it's a process. Yeah. You know, it takes time, and everything gets better. You just got to give it, you know, time and patience. Yeah. You know, and consistency. If you're trying to get out of a dark place, you just got to keep trying, man. Yep. And speaking of like the process, let's talk about your clothing brand. Right. Worldwide, I believe. Yes, sir. How'd that all start about? So, Worldwide started with me kind of wanting to create things that I think people would resonate with, and me also inspiring others to use their creative output to make things that they are happy with, that they enjoy, that they're passionate about. So it started a long time ago, and at first it wasn't called Worldwide. It was just a brand that me and my friends wanted to make. We didn't know what to call it yet. But then, you know, life caught up with us. You know, we had some obstacles to overcome, and it started going good. And then COVID happened, kind of halted us for a while. So we kind of fell out of that. We're like, you know, COVID, we can't do anything right now.
So we kind of just scrapped that idea. Then I started thinking about a bunch of stuff. And there's times like at night where I just lay in bed for like 30 minutes and just think, just let my mind flow. And I kept thinking of the world. And it kept like coming up in dreams and stuff, and like just the globe itself, like the earth and the possibilities we can do. And one day I was like just working on some drawing or something. I was like, damn, this look cool on the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I drew some more stuff on it. And then I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I drew a globe around it and it looked so sick. I was like, dang, that'd be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like worldwide. It's like, damn, that's a nice name.
Worldwide,
I told my homies, I was like, hey, what y'all think about this design? They're like, oh, that's fire. I was like, and I thought of a name too, worldwide. What y'all think about it? Like, yo,
yeah,
crazy. So 2 years later, I practice, all the things that I've wanted to do, whether it's clothing design, graphic design, marketing, promotional agencies and stuff, photography, network,
all the
aspects that go into fashion and art as well, because clothing is an art.
Yeah.
And, just last year, about like 5-6 months ago, I decided to, I want to make this an actual brand. I've been talking about it for so long. It's time to get on it, and it's never too late for you to start anywhere. I want it to be known to anybody out there. There's no set time for you to start anything. You can start it whenever if you're 10 or 100 years old, it doesn't matter. You put your effort into it and it will all come into fruition. So, yeah, so me and my homie, we decided to make it a thing. And, we did like a little drop back then. It sold out like just crazy because I didn't think it would sell out, but like it sold out in like an hour. It's like, damn, bro, y'all really like this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to really dig deep into the meaning of it as well. And overall, it's just for people to connect with each other around the world and to just inspire other people, young people, old people, that, art is a beautiful thing. And I'm a big art fanatic. I love art. I love different artists, musicians, all kinds of stuff that go into it. And, I would love to see that because it's beauty,
Yeah.
I said, life imitates art. So might as well give it a try.
I think when people are creating from that place of just sharing ideas and also putting out things that they love and doing things that they love, it's basically love in motion.
Exactly.
Like that's who you are at that point in your life, when you're just creating things because it's who you like. There's a desire that knows that you have to put this out. Like there's something in you that tells you this has to come into this world, right? And I'm glad that you got that idea, and you not only did you get the idea, but you also executed on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which takes a lot of fucking courage.
Just
right?
the start of something is scary.
It's scary.
But once you get it done, you're gonna feel so good about yourself because it's that first step to whatever your dream is, whatever you want in life. It's that first step, and the first step is always the hardest.
Yeah.
And then everything else is easy after.
Yeah, everything else, it seems
and
like...
that's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just with anything, though. Like, exercise, depression, whatever it is, that first step is always the hardest, but everything comes after.
Yeah. That reminded me of a quote by Jim Rohn. He said, you can't change destination overnight, but you can change direction.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. What the fuck? Excuse my language, but damn. Y'all better peep. My boy got a game out here.
Yeah, bro. I mean, do you know who that is? Jim Rohn?
I heard of him. I definitely never heard of that.
You've never heard of that quote?
But I've heard of him, though.
Heard of him? Yeah, yeah. He's one of my favorite speakers to listen to. I think I randomly on YouTube once found a video of his, and I was hooked at his cadence, at his ability to speak about these ideas that I thought about, but it was never put in that way of, to change. You can't change destination overnight, but you can change direction. Like it's part of the process of and he says you go the direction you face. So, you have to change that idea in your mind of this is where I'm headed, and you keep walking down that path and you'll get there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That idea or his ideas definitely changed my life of that understanding, because I thought about them at unconscious level, but right when he said it, like that like shifted and opened my perspective. There are people and ideas that do that to you, right? Like there's
things that just trigger
something,
thoughts in the back of your head that you didn't think would be viable, things that you didn't think other people thought of. And it makes you, I feel like that makes you feel less alone in the grand scheme of things, because then that opens up a new door for a whole new kind of thought process and whatnot. And that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. Those people are needed. Like, and that speaking of like the first step and stuff, that I think most people are stopped and are impaired by fear. Like it immobilizes them.
Yeah.
Right. Fear of failure, or even fear of success. Like what will happen if I become this, or fear of the past of the same results that I've gotten. Like all these fears and are constantly in your mind. Like they just show up out of anywhere. Like you could think about your dream, and then here comes this fear out of nowhere, just
it's
trying to take it down. Right?
The mind, you know, it's against you. Who you gonna choose?
Yeah, and up until I think a few months ago, I started realizing why this exists. Like, why does fear exist? And I realized it's not a detriment; it's a benefit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because without the fear, you wouldn't build the faith or the courage to do so. Like, it's not about the fear is where your work lies. The fear is where it's showing you that in this place right now, you're looking at a situation through the scope of fear, and you had to change that. So it's not that the fear is trying to make you stop doing things. It's telling you that you had to work at this part of your life right now. And that's also helped me.
Yeah,
because
fear is definitely something that a lot of people think of it as a negative, part of our lives, but fear entices change, and it makes people adapt. And that's how life has always been, evolve and adapt to our situations. And some people could do it on the fly, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Props to you guys, but it takes a while for others. And I think fear is something people should look at as also something beautiful, because it's a natural instinct in us, to be fearful of something, whether it's physical or not, or it's just an idea. But
I think it's all there to benefit us at the end of the day, as long as you have that perspective of it does benefit us, because you could have the same perspective or the same thing happen to you and think of fear, and it could immobilize you, and you could not do what you wanted to do, and it could stop you in that aspect. But there was this great, I don't want to say poem, but like an essay or of sorts by Rumi, and I don't know all of it, but it's titled Guest House, and its main like meaning of it is that all these people as in resembles emotions and thoughts and ideas. All these people will come into your house, whether it's fear or happiness or anger. All these people will come into your house, the house of your mind, and you should accept them all, because each of them will give you something that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for their existence. So if it's a fear, it might take out all your clothes, like out of your house. It might take all your stuff, but it did that because life knows that it's going to put new ones there. Like if you had to take something out in order to get something new, right? You can't have one thing and then another thing in that same place, right? So that's how I look at it, as I just allow things now. Like everything just goes through, and I let go of things more easily.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. And who has been your biggest inspiration creatively and through fashion and stuff during those times, like of creating that brand? What inspired you, or who inspired you?
Someone that inspired me, I feel like there's a few people, but to name one off the top of my head, I'd probably say like, it's not somebody that people know. It's actually someone that it's only, he's important to me. I don't, know where he's at. I lost contact with him a long time ago, but it's this guy. Me and my friends used to skate when I was in high school, and we used to take the metro in LA.
Yeah.
And, there's a whole bunch of like people there, like random people. Some talk to you, some don't. But there's this guy I went with by myself one day, and I think his name was Mr. Jans. So there's this, I don't know what ethnicity it was, but, we were just chatting it up, he had some really cool clothes on. I was like, hey, I like your clothes. He was like, oh, thank you. I was like, oh, cool. He was spitting game, bro. Like, I don't remember the most of it, but I remember one thing he told me was like, whatever you strive for in life, make sure that you love what you do and you do what you love. And that stuck with me because prior to that, there's a bunch of artists and musicians and fashion designers, creators, whatever, that say the same thing. But for someone random to tell you, it means so much more because that means that they have love in their heart for other people to succeed. And that's crazy to think about because like we're just two total random strangers.
Yeah.
Some random dude to tell me that, which kind of sparked that initial thought, damn, I want to do this. Because obviously I was into it for a while, but I just didn't really see it in that way until it was brought to my attention that I was capable of doing these things.
Yeah.
And so shouts out to Mr. Jans. I don't remember his first name. I don't know where you're at, but wherever you're at in the world, shout out to you, man. Inspired
Made
me to
an
do
impact,
this, man.
Right? I mean, I think people like that are meant to come into your life. Like
there's
that
people
person
that come in for a reason, and
they're coming.
They
and
leave just
even
as
if
quick.
it's a stranger, like you didn't know that person at all. Like it was just somebody at a similar location that you just met, and just a simple idea of love brought you to a better place in life.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's so important, I think. And that's why I love doing this podcast, because it maybe people listening right now have taken different ideas from this and instantly brought them to a higher place of understanding. Right. And I think a lot of things can do that. Music can do that.
Exactly. I love music.
Yeah. Music fucking, I'm not a specific genre type of person either, which is, which also helps me out a lot when so if I have like different moods throughout the day, I just listen to different genres. Like I don't really care about anything. I just go based off feeling, and I pick songs.
I love music because the way it makes you feel.
Yeah, that's it.
The way it just brings out this emotion in you, whether it's happiness, sadness, whatever it is. The lyrics are a big part of it, but just the overall, sound that it just resonates with your body. And, scientifically too, like there's certain sounds that actually make you feel like, happy or tingly. There's like hertz or whatever. Like I know I see on YouTube, there's like 430 hertz and stuff just for meditation and stuff. Yeah. I know that's certain things that really resonate with you on a more, technological or scientific level, but music in general, I love music.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear like a song that I really like, it just brings me to a whole nother realm in my mind. I just like, wow, I love this song.
I know it allows us to I think just be in that space of the music itself. Like I think if you're focused on whatever it is in your life, you have bills to pay, or you got to go somewhere, or you're late to something, right? You could be focusing on that, but then the second you hear music, it just takes you to that place of where it was created and how the artist felt creating it, and it just makes you feel that way. Or it could match your level if you're sad or something, and you play like a somber sound. It could, you could groove with that and feel that emotion. And so that's the beauty of music. And nowadays, it's great to see that artists are creating, even though, it's not like you don't have to be famous to create, is what I'm trying to say. Is you could just, anybody can create, anybody can make music, anybody with a microphone can make something, right? Or even your phone, and just go out and do that, right?
The beauty of it is like to see other people's ideas too, because I feel like it's like a virtual museum with your, with your mind and with your ears. You kind of see it in your head and you allow it to speak to you, physically.
Yeah.
And that just, that, like I said, that triggers a whole bunch of ideas for people. Somebody could hear one song and not like it and hear the same song like a couple years later and be like, yo, I like this song.
I know it works like that, bro. And and same with the songs that you listen for the first time.
Right.
It could be like you don't like that song. I think for a new album or something, somebody released a new album, you expected it to be this, and it really didn't get there for you. But then the second time or third time you listen to it, then it starts to come through.
There's a few albums
right?
I can name that just did that for me.
I
love rap music and I love like classical music. So like there's this artist named Playboi Carti. Very popular.
Yeah, I know.
I love him. He's a great musician.
Yeah.
Great artist. But when he released his latest album, I didn't really like it at first, to be honest. There was like one or two songs I liked, but gradually over time it grew on me, and then I just got addicted to it. It's so beautiful. Like you got to realize the masterpiece he creates is so crazy because, man, like the thought process into it too is just crazy how it just all comes together. And then some artists, they have a way of transitioning through songs to where it's like you don't even notice, which is crazy as well because like, I think that's fantastic.
Like the next song skips over, or
it like
the
plays
next
over
song,
to the next song,
plays on to the
and
next
you don't even
one.
notice. You're like, oh, this new song.
Yeah.
It's like this shit hard too.
I know.
And then classical music. I love opera music. Like my homies, some of them make fun of me for it, but I love opera music and classical music.
You're probably the first person I know that
really
that said that.
Like I was playing it on my way here. Like I'd be listening on the radio.
I just don't know. Like I know that genre exists and people love it, but like people that are young like us, I just haven't seen people that talked about it. But
I feel like it's
definitely unique.
It's an acquired taste,
Yeah. What makes you fall in love, or what made you fall in love with that music?
Classical music?
Yeah, classical.
I feel like it's like, because I'm such an artistic person, I believe that, to be able to accept everything as it is and to allow it to speak through you is something beautiful. And classical music is just a whole nother level of beauty because when I listen to it, it just makes me transcend. Like some people transcend and they be like, damn, I feel like I'm floating.
Yeah.
With like other artists, but classical music is the one that does it for me. And it's like a story, but with music. Because, that's what they use it for, like, soundboards and stuff. And like for, action movies, they always have like this kind of build up to the big scene, and it kind of just shows you like the grandscape. It makes you believe,
like in The Dark Knight or stuff like that.
It makes you imagine these scenarios in your head, and it's just so crazy because it's like something that you can't see makes you see what others can't see. That's so weird. Crazy. Like you think about it.
Yeah.
And so I love classical music. I think there's like this opera house out in New York that I'm gonna try to go to soon. And then there's a pavilion in LA or California. I don't know where's LA.
Pavilion.
Greek Pavilion. Greek Pavilion.
I think I've heard of that.
They sometimes play like orchestra numbers and stuff. Yeah. Man, I would love to go to one of those. Like, so hey, any of y'all shorties out there, you want to take me on a date? Let's go to see opera.
Opera, yeah. Is opera the same as classical, or is that
I like opera because it's more of a vocal form of classical music, and that's also a story. But I like classical music with an actual like instruments and whatnot because that just allows you to make your own story. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like it gives you like a foundation for you to create on. And classical music is beneficial too because there's different studies that show that it increases dopamine levels, it increases focus levels, it reduces anxiety. So I like classical music because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel warm. So I like it. It's something that I resonate with.
One of the artists is like Mozart, right? Like,
right. Yeah, Mozart.
Correct on that. Right. Yeah. Mozart. That's probably like the only thing I know about classical music, and that's probably the basic of just.
I mean, I feel like once you get into it, you just got to find your own niche. Once you get into it, it just opens up a new world. And I love all kinds of music, not even classical, like any kind of music.
What's your favorite song in classical music?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I do have it in my playlist. It's from this I think this Asian orchestra.
Is it recent or
it came out like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
But I love violins, and the violinists in that, their solos are so beautiful.
I know, dude.
I was like, oh man. You gotta stop right there.
I know. The instruments like that, I think it just like puts you in that space, like you said, transcend. You just feel something that you wouldn't feel in normal music that you have on the radio or something, right? It's a different emotion that comes through with that type of music, and I'm not into classical that as much, but I'll probably get into it.
Absolutely,
because you if you suggest me a few songs,
I got you. I'll hook you up with some pretty good songs.
Yeah. But I like listening to jazz every now and then.
Too. Man, I love jazz too.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra, stuff like that.
Yeah, I like Frank Sinatra.
Let's see, Nat King Cole, Etta James.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good taste, my friend.
Yes, sir. A few other people too, but I really just, like I said, I play music off of feeling. However I'm feeling, like if I'm just like wanting to listen to stuff and not like bop new music or in the car or something, I'm just like relaxed most of the time and I just play whatever that I feel.
Yeah, I usually have my playlist on shuffle.
Yeah.
Whatever happens.
Yeah, shuffle, dude. That's what I live on, because sometimes I get like too focused on like I need to find a song for this thing, and then I just press shuffle and like the perfect song comes on.
Just comes on. It's your own energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love music.
Yeah. Music has that it is one of those arts that it's unlike anything else. Like when you listen to music, it directly just you feel it right away. Unlike maybe like a movie takes time to basically get to you, or in certain scenes you kind of feel different emotions through that. But with a song, it's just
almost instantaneous.
Instant, right? Like you're just getting on that frequency.
Yeah, I know. It's a beautiful thing. And there's some people in the world that are really susceptible to the sound. Yeah. And some people, I don't know the name of it, but like some people feel it on such a deep level that there's a term for them. So I figured out.
Is it like perfect hearing or something like that? Or
I don't know. I don't remember. It's like people who react to music on a deeper level tend to when they listen to it, they get goosebumps. I don't know if you ever heard of a song and it makes you just tingle.
Yeah, of
that
course.
Sounds wrong, but it just makes you feel good and you get goosebumps. That's like, there's people in the world who, with any music they listen to, that's how they feel. And I feel like those people are the most emotional because they can almost instantly feel the connection with what the song is trying to portray. And I think that's crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah. That happens to me in some songs, but not every song.
No, I don't think every song happens. Not for me personally, but there's a good handful of songs that I just listen to. I just like, man, where is this person?
There are also those people that are like artistically to create music have perfect hearing. So like for the notes of each song,
I know what you mean by that. They can just pick it out perfectly. Pick out a perfect note.
Man, like if there's something,
geniuses.
If there's a note playing, they could like match it with their voice. That's fucking insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think on TikTok there was Charlie Puth, right?
Yeah.
He's big on there, like fucking crazy. And I saw his TikToks of him making music, and there was like this big song that he was creating, Light Switch. You probably heard of like he started off with like an idea of this light switch verse that he sung, and then he started adding beats to it, and he showed like the whole process of the song of how TikTok, he created it. Yeah, and just different sounds. Like for one of them, I saw him like kick a wall, and he had a microphone there. He just like kicked a wall.
Oh yeah,
and that's how he got that sound for the bass of it.
Some people could just make things work, and that's so crazy because you'd hear the song and you'd see like, okay, it's just the bass line, you know, some drums and whatnot. But when you really get into it, like in a deeper level, that could have been like me punching my door or like me closing a cabinet, like the hi-hat. That could have been me tapping a pen. Like you don't know, and that's crazy and beautiful at the same time. It's so, I like music because it's so chaotic.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's like a kind of calm chaotic, like
calm
a calm
chaotic.
before the storm.
Yeah.
Because it can make you either feel, you know, crazy rage and whatnot, and then it can also bring this calmness to it that nothing else in the world could really match. So
yeah,
that's crazy. I like that. It's so cool.
And I love how it's so diverse. Like that's the biggest part of it. Like not every single person, and I think it has to do with people. Every single person has gone through different experiences and perceive life at a different level than pretty much everyone around them, and therefore those who create music create differently too. Like it could be in the same genre, but the hip hop sample can or two artists can be on the same beat, but their flows are different because of what they took from that beat, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's special. What are we at right now? We're at over an hour, I think. So yeah, we're chilling.
Okay. Did you have any like music phases growing up? Like maybe some people like rock music when they're younger. Did you have any phases growing up, or
not really? Because when I was younger, my parents would play, like I'm Indian, and they would play Indian music in the car, and that's what I grew up on listening to. And like from Indian music, most of the music that I listened to comes from like movies. It wasn't really classical music, so yeah, just music like that were in Indian films and stuff. And eventually, I started to get into music. I think around, or my own taste in music, probably in elementary school, and that's when I, maybe like 2010, 9-ish. That's when I started, or that's I think when I found out who Drake was around that time. And that's when I was like on LimeWire. Do you remember that shit?
LimeWire,
yeah. That's when
downloading stuff.
Yeah, dude, you couldn't get shit on Spotify. Like I don't think Spotify existed.
I don't think it existed like 10
or
years ago.
there was no streaming really. It was just you had to
content,
download it or buy it as a
CDs,
CD.
Yeah, that's so crazy to see how far technology is. Yeah, 10 years. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that shit would download a virus for you like right away. You download anything, it'll give you a virus, dude. And yeah, I didn't know it would do that, but I just liked listening to music. And I think this was before YouTube had really brought out music, right? Like now on YouTube you could search up any song and it's there. But before it was just official music videos that that artists would publish. That's the only way you could see music on there. And so I'd go on LimeWire because I didn't want to pay for songs and shit. So I just go on there, download Drake songs and whatever, mostly like the top songs of that era, like pop songs. I know Taylor Swift was probably big back then and shit like that. And then of course, like I think 2012 Gangnam Style, Macklemore was big, Thrift Shop, all those songs. Yeah, that. And then once streaming came into my life, like Spotify, that's when I discovered all these other genres existed because nobody really talked about that. Like I only saw music that my friends would listen to, and they would just listen to whatever's on the radio or whatever the top song is of that time. But then I got to this point where I was like, all these songs exist over here. Like, and then I got into, of course, you know, not rock, but maybe it's alternative. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Of the Rolling Stones and all that
like
stuff.
Alternative rock.
Yeah. Alternative rock. Yeah,
Man,
Guns N' Roses, all
I
that.
love older bands too. My favorite one is Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin, of
and
course.
then
Yeah.
Metallica. I'm a huge music fan, so I like all kinds of genres. I'm really deep into each genre.
Yeah.
So any genre that, anything you probably heard of, I probably heard of too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's the beauty of music is, and I'm glad streaming platforms allow for all these creators to come on there and to discover these genres, because I would never have listened to this type of music because nobody around me was listening to that. Like it was because I randomly discovered that this existed. I was like, wait, I heard that song in a movie or something.
Yeah,
but that's the song.
That's
like
the
somebody,
song? What?
yeah,
That's crazy. Yeah.
that happened with what was it? Rolling Stones. That's always in every movie. With that shows like a montage. I forget what it's called. It starts with the S. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm not a big Rolling Stones fan, so.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. I should know. Fuck. But
nah, it's okay. Next time we can figure it out. Yeah, I love music. Spotify and any streaming platform in general kind of changed the game too, because it allowed us easier access to that music, which is incredible because I don't like paying for stuff.
Yeah, no, bro.
Like I'm not stingy. I just don't like paying for stuff that I can get free.
Yeah.
So,
and then the ability for like millions of songs, that was unheard of. Millions of songs. Before, like you could download stuff, but I don't think it was that much, and the discovery for it wasn't there. Like now you could go on certain playlists, and Spotify like creates playlists for you and stuff.
I like Spotify because of that reason, because they kind of pick out the songs that you like or listen to the most, the artists you listen to, and kind of configure your own one.
Yeah.
And just for your taste. And that's so cool. Cause like, how do they know?
Yeah. That's probably another algorithm.
Yeah. So that's crazy. I like that.
Just like,
speaking of Spotify, I met one of my homies that I'm friends with on TikTok because of a Spotify song. So I didn't know he had music on Spotify, but I heard a song one day on Spotify. I was like, oh, this is a cool song. I added it, saved it. Then I was scrolling through TikTok one day and I saw someone the same song. It's like, oh, this is his song. Yeah, so I was like, yo, this song go hard. I just downloaded it. And then 5 months later, me and him, we chopped it up. I went out to a show in LA. He's a good artist. His name is Tommy Richmond. He's a great artist. And then off of him, I met another person that I was already homies with. And I didn't know they were friends because they live right close to each other. They both live in Virginia. Damn. So I was like, oh, you know him? He's like, yeah, that's my homie. I was like, oh, God, that's crazy.
We know each other.
My homie, his name is my name isn't J-Mac. He's also a great artist. They both make alternative music, whether it's alternative rap music, rock, indie, pop, neo-punk, all kinds of music. And I like that because, there's a lot of subgenres in these genres that a lot of artists don't get recognized for. And to bring that to light is so cool because then it allows more expansion of growth and, for other people to listen to these songs. So
yeah, because
really good artists.
It allows those people to be, to continue to make that stuff and not think that I have to be in this rap field just to become popular. Like I could do other stuff or stuff that I actually enjoy making to and still have popularity and people listen to music and stuff.
And I think those subgenres are starting to be more prominent nowadays. Yeah. When you hear stuff on the radio, when you hear stuff on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever you go on, it's starting to appear more because of the creativity that it brings and because like they're doing things that not a lot of people have heard of, which is cool because most of the time art is such a thing that you kind of see on a daily. It's either replicated or it's just inspired by other things, but to do something from scratch and create it and something brand new gives it a whole new, kind of freshness to the whole industry.
Yeah, a little more depth to it.
So I like stuff like that.
Yeah, the new artists, especially like I said, we have the capacity, or we have the ability now to have people that to create whatever they want, and that's been the biggest biggest freedom, I think, because of course people will create stuff that is trash, like you SoundCloud rappers and stuff, whatever, and people won't listen to that. But it also allows for people who are actually really talented and love what they do to put out music, and TikTok especially has found a way for artists to go on there. And
the way the interaction on TikTok is, I feel like it's easier and better for artists to promote their things on TikTok, whatever it is, because the engagement is so instant. Like you can get an instant feedback in like less than a second. Yeah. And that's crazy because it's like some people, it takes them like weeks for them to get feedback from anything, to know if they're gaining fans or if they're growing, they're getting better and whatnot. And that instant feedback is what makes it easier for artists to evolve and adapt. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's great because it doesn't just give it to your already following base. It allows it for new people,
brand new like audience,
strangers to listen to it, right? Like you probably never looked at this person or heard of this person's music, but here it is because you're scrolling through it and it's on your For You page, right? And I've seen comments of artists, like popular artists, saying that they've met new artists or new creators because of the For You page, because somebody like they would have millions of followers,
it's such
but
a small world too.
They would
like,
on their For You page, somebody with 1,000 followers has this amazing talent and they connect with them. Yeah,
meet with them. The connection is wild. Yeah, the connection is wild. I really like it.
Yeah, but the negative side of it is that it fucking takes your time away. Like it's so addicting. I agree with
you. At first, I didn't like TikTok because I thought it was just mainly people dancing and music, and I was like, I don't really want to see that.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I would see like memes and you know, informational videos and all kinds of things that I really was interested in. And after a while, I kind of got, you know, I gained an addiction to it. You know, not as much anymore. I cut it off because I did like gain quite a bit of an addiction. So
because it feeds you exactly what you want.
The stuff that you want. And
exactly. You know, like it knows down to a science what you like, what you spend, how much time you know what I mean? How much time you spend on a certain video, and then it shows you similar things and it groups you in these categories and everything. So it's fucking wild. And again, it's a blessing and a curse, where without that you wouldn't have people, or you wouldn't have that engagement on whatever you're creating. But because of that, you kind of get trapped in scrolling on your own the feed of different things at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But I think nowadays that's what people want. It seems like that they want that high level of engagement, because even on Instagram, I think they released Reels a few months ago, which is basically the same thing as TikTok. Yeah. So who knows what that will do, but
I think TikTok is more of like it's like a place for you to kind of explore new things, and for people to just be themselves and allow their creativity to be, you know, expressed however they want. And I feel like the Reels is more of like a professional version of that, where people use it for more of a business aspect. Yeah. More just to get their name out there to push to a different audience. You know, both of them are still great, because I ain't gonna lie, I take my time. Yeah. I be at home just videos on TikTok. None of it changes. I still be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Nobody watches TV anymore, really. Like it's just,
I feel like
the entertainment shifted to the phones and everything. Yeah.
I feel like television kind of lost its attraction because of the way that the internet is now, and the way we can just stream anything we want through a laptop, phone, tablet, whatever. Netflix really took over the game. Yeah, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. Crazy. Those are like the three main competitors. Like, who's gonna watch Disney Channel nowadays? Like, you got Disney Plus. You know what I mean? Who's gonna
you can stream everything you want at an instant.
You can go on like Netflix and watch the same shows. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think people have gotten to the place where at first it was you have to watch things at a certain time for you to be able to catch this episode,
to enjoy it, and
right? You have to if you want to watch Seinfeld, you got to be on there at Thursday, 8 p.m., right? Or else you'll miss it. But then we got DVRs, and then now you could record the stuff that you wanted to watch, and you don't have to be there. But now it's like, I want to watch this specific thing and I want it now. I don't want to wait for it to record even. Like, it's there and I watch it. And if I want to watch the whole season, I could watch the whole season of it. Yeah. Right. So I think that's what people have gone to now, like the convenience aspect of it. Right.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I usually don't really watch TV, but I do have like videos or music playing in the background. So whenever I'm doing things, I usually have it in the background. And because of that, that also allows me to learn and be open to new stuff. Because sometimes I just let it play and then I'll do my own thing. I come back and it's a whole new video. Yeah, something that I'm interested in, but it's just so interesting to watch. So I just be like, I want to see what this is. So
on YouTube, you said?
On YouTube, I like YouTube a lot because I like watching a lot of random things on the same platform.
Yeah.
And I feel like Netflix is cool, but it's just mainly just for, entertainment purposes.
Yeah. I mean,
YouTube,
it's a different beast because it's produced like it's a full-fledged production of things.
YouTube is more of like I feel like YouTube is more of like a tool instead of a platform to be entertained.
Yeah. It's for creators, I guess, like for anybody could post on YouTube. Exactly. And not everybody can get on Netflix, right? Yeah. So, I mean, YouTube is definitely one of my favorites. And I think it's also addictive because they have like the sidebar of the suggested stuff too, but it's not as up in your face, it's kind of disguised. And I like how YouTube, you could search up anything you want and somebody has created a topic of it, like literally anything.
Gundam style parodies and whatnot. Like, parodies, man, I remember covers. I used to watch those.
You want somebody to show you how to plant a specific flower. That's there. You want to learn how to change oil. That's also there. Like literally any topic in the world is on YouTube.
It's crazy.
Somebody has created a video on YouTube. And that's what makes it amazing. Like no other video company has competed. Like there's nobody else. When you say to somebody, go watch this video, they're gonna go to YouTube. They're not gonna go anywhere else.
Look it up, yeah.
Right? They're not gonna go anywhere else. That's what makes it unique and special, and the ability for anybody can post on there. Right? Like this podcast is on YouTube. And at the same time, there are people with other podcasts that are also on YouTube. And it's not like some restricted thing that only some people can get to, right?
Yeah. I like YouTube also because it's a way for people to, make careers too. It's so crazy to think like, in the past, you would have to have a certain amount of, experience to make films and whatnot. And nowadays you could just pick up a phone, record a video and upload it. And then it can gain millions of views overnight, which is crazy. So I really like it. The way that YouTube is kind of transcended from just a platform of random videos that you'd watch, funny home videos, to now like full-fledged season episodes, like from random production teams. It's so cool because I love YouTube. Like, it's such a great platform.
Such a great platform. Yeah. The ability for artists to get paid and creators to get paid for making videos helps out a lot. And the freedom aspect of it, that you could do whatever you want, right? And some people have had backlash with YouTube because they believe that YouTube is taking down some of their content, like because of COVID stuff. But I don't want to get into that too much, but it's a business at the end of the day too, right? Like they had to make money for their sponsor or their advertisers and stuff. So it's a business, but I'm glad that the opportunity exists, right? For people. And it goes to show just how many people that are on YouTube. It shows that's what people want and that's what people would rather watch than something that is so heavily produced. I mean, yes, movies exist and we enjoy that, but there's also love for people who don't have a massive production and that just have creative ideas and that just want to share them with a phone. Like, you don't need much. You just
Man, those short films
record,
on YouTube
right?
be beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I love short films. They're so cool.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've been seeing a lot of like, there's this one YouTube channel called I want to say Aperture.
Aperture.
I think I don't know if it's the name of it, but his name is called Aperture, and he makes videos on like space and life and stuff. And there's another YouTube channel called Pursuit of Happiness, and they talk about all the random aspects of life, like what happens when we die, like is there another existing life form outside the universe, or what is a dream? You know, they just talk about topics that people want to talk about but don't know how to.
And into short films, you said?
And it's so cool. And then there's other horror films out there, like horror film productions out there that I really like. I don't know any names of them off the top of my head, but they're like there's compilations of just horror films, which are so cool. You know, short horror films and videos and whatnot. And you can believe it. At the end of the day, it can be a hoax or whatever, but it's just the what if aspect of it, like the questioning, is what makes it so much better.
Yeah.
And the way it's so easily accessible, you can just look it up.
You can look it up, yeah.
You like ghosts? Man, you got ghost videos right there.
Ghost videos, yeah.
You want to see somebody do a backflip? There you go.
There you go. Everything, bro. And even like reaction videos of those things. Like, people react to the same videos that you're watching, like, so you could see other people's perspective of it. And also, of course, the comment section is amazing, where anybody could comment stuff. And
the comments be wild.
Yeah. It depends on what channel, really. Like, some comments, they'll like fucking, they're terrible. And
some comments add on to it, which is cool. Like,
add on to it. Like, people actually care about
share
the subject.
More information. Yeah. So I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you a big comedy person? Like, do you like stand up or anything? Cause
I like comedy, just not in the same realm as comedy, like comedians guys. I do watch comedians. I just don't know their names. But from time to time, I'd see some that I like. I'll look it up on Netflix, watch it, and I'll be entertained, you know?
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of them, or a lot of stand up on YouTube over the past few months, and just learning about, or just watching it for entertainment, just fucking, because I never really got into, I never really liked comedy, or I never, here, let me try to explain this. I did like comedy when I was a kid, but I didn't know what stand-up was until a few years ago, where I saw Gabriel Iglesias. I don't know if you know who that is. Fluffy, right? As a kid, but I didn't know that was stand-up. I thought that was like just some guy with a microphone, and I'm here seeing his videos and he's cracking jokes and shit. But then I realized, wait, that's stand-up comedy, and there's other people that do that in different forms. And it's a beautiful art form in it of itself, because you're up there trying to make these people laugh, right? Just by telling your stories or your perspective of life. And that to me is crazy, where you could stand there for an hour and talk to people and make it seem as if you're just flowing. Like, this isn't constructed. You're just spreading
just
thoughts,
speaking
right?
into existence.
Yeah, that's it.
And then there's some people out there who, like, the way they just interact with the audience as well. And man, like, some stand-up comedians deserve way more recognition for what they have right now, because like some of them just do stuff on the fly, which is incredible, because there's a lot of people out there who don't.
Andrew Schultz is like that. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I think I heard of him before.
He's fucking hilarious.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there who, there's some things that the comedians might say that they probably don't really, like or mess with like that. And the way they can turn around that negative, energy and just turn it into something that anyone can benefit off of. Yeah. Is really cool.
Yeah, they could pick topics that really nobody else wants to talk about. They think of these things, but they don't really want to talk about it. And here comes a comedian that has that idea, but then is able to put a twist on it, or put it in a certain perspective where it doesn't really show the perspective of hate, but then instead it shows one of love and laughter instead, and instead of like talking about how like something about the government or whatever. They could put politics into something a lot more bearable for people.
Right. Real quick, I don't know if my phone turned off. You want to check real quick? Because I heard like a beep, but it's still rolling?
At probably just turned off.
Okay, because I heard it like a beep, but...
Okay, now it's going.
Okay. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, back to what you were saying?
Fuck, I don't even know. Comedians, right?
Right,
That's okay. We'll go for like a little bit more. All right, and cool. Because your phone's at 20%.
Oh yeah, it just turned off again.
Oh, it turned off again?
Yeah. It might be full.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
I mean, I can... it's up to you. I mean, I don't mind. Like, I can delete some stuff.
I think it's fine.
All right, we cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sorry about that, folks, but that camera just died, unfortunately, but it's fine. We've been rolling for about an hour 30, which is crazy. That's
I didn't even seen that long.
I know, bro. Every time I do this, bro, like it's just it seems like 20, 30 minutes pass by, and it goes
like so short.
An hour 30, and it's already fucking 1 p.m., right? Like 1:15 shit. All right. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate this, for you taking the time. Yeah. And hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Enjoy the conversation, and have a beautiful day. Peace.